Go? Go, really, huh? Well, we were talking about my life as a child. So many thoughts go through my head that it's hard to keep them straight here. When I was about 6 or 7, I started taking tap dancing lessons. And they had a man from vaudeville who was teaching. And he was very good. But he was 68 years old, the age I am now. So he sat in a chair and moved his feet around and showed us the steps. And then we had to watch it and pick it up. And after a while, it became easier and easier. But out of that, I learned coordination. I learned a lot of discipline, because he was very tough when it came to doing things absolutely on time with the music and doing it right. I had an opportunity to dance at the Iowa State Fair. I think it was 1935, if I'm not mistaken. And at the Tall Corn Exposition in Marshalltown. And that Lawrence Welk was playing. It was his program that we danced at. And we had danced at WHO on the home talent shows. And when they came into our area for their home talent shows, they would always ask us to come, not as home talent, but as part of WHO. We never ever got paid, but it didn't make any difference. It was still a big thrill to be invited. I used to have those cards in my, put away in my little lockbox of where the invitations were, but I do not know where they are. Over the years, they've gotten lost. But I like to prove everything I say. And I danced until I was up in high school. And then I quit. But Mary Mullins was my partner, one of them. And she married my brother later on, and she's alive out in Utah right now. I don't know if she still dances or not. But I talk to her every once in a while. I attended the Grinnell High School. I played saxophone in the band for a while. And it was over. I played tenor. I played a tenor sax, and it was so heavy that I couldn't even carry it. As a child, I was very small, up until I was about 15, 16, then I started putting on weight. But the saxophone was so small that my brother had to take his old Tin Lizzie and take me to class in the morning, and he got tired of it. So he bought me a baton, and I joined the baton group, which was a fun thing to do. So all through 7th and 8th grade, I was in baton. And then through high school, I went to summer school for 3 years and got out of high school in 3 years so that I could do something for the war effort. And all the time I was in school, from the age of 13 on, I worked at the North Market. And I worked in the fruit department for a while, and from there I progressed to the meat department, learned how to cut up all sorts of meat, and Wes made me a butcher, full-fledged, dubbed me as a butcher. And but picking chickens was the last thing in the world he had me do, and I did not enjoy that. Dipping them and plucking them. That's why I don't like chicken today, I guess. I do eat it once in a while, but not too often. So my years were spent studying, working, and trudging back and forth, and I walked everywhere. Until finally I bought a bicycle, or my brother gave me his, I don't know which it was. My first job was at the age of 10. I rode a bicycle, maybe it was 11. I rode a bicycle out to a strawberry patch and had to stoop over all day and pick strawberries. When it got too hot, I just couldn't do it anymore, so we put in about a half a day. We got 3 cents a box for picking those. And I wound up with 3 cents a box. I wound up with maybe $10 for a week's work. $10. So I went into the North Market one time and had my check cashed there. And the fellow behind the counter said, "You're working?" I said, "Yeah." $10? He said, "Just a minute." So he went back and talked to Wes. And he said, "I need a helper up there, and that's the girl I want to help me." So they hired me for 19 cents an hour. So that's 15-cent raise right there, you know. So I took it. You know, it was better working inside than outside anyway in the heat. So that was my first job, picking strawberries and then the grocery store. And I stayed at that grocery store till I graduated from high school because they were just nice people. They treated me nice, and I needed the job for clothes and different things that I wanted to do. So that's how my childhood went, very quickly, very quickly. My brothers, very briefly about them, Kurt and Arnold, who were killed in an automobile wreck in the early 50s, they were my playmates, and they liked hunting dogs, and they liked to go hunting and trapping and fishing. I didn't like doing any of those things. But at an earlier age, they were my playmates. Grace, I don't ever remember playing with her. She was always busy around the house, cleaning, piddling here and doing something there and washing dishes and stuff. Well, I got out. I didn't want to do any of that. One thing I definitely remember as a child, which was, I never want it to happen again. We had a dry sink, which is what we have out here right now. And one of the kids brought in a bucket of water with a dipper. We all drank out of the same dipper. And just as I tipped up the dipper to swallow it, I looked down like this, kind of cross-eyed into it, and there was a spider, and it was in my mouth and gone before I could stop it. I'll never forget that. So I have eaten a spider. But some of the things that you do when you don't have refrigeration is in the wintertime you build a box outside the window and prop it just like it would look today like an air conditioner sitting outside the window, but it was a box. And inside was a button-down door. And we'd keep our meat and our milk and anything that we wanted refrigerated out there all winter long. Then as it became summer, we put it in a bucket on a rope down the well. It's the only place you could keep it cool and keep it from not souring. We bought our eggs downtown at a candling shop, and my best friend's parents ran the egg unit. So I got to see her candle eggs and learn what that was all about. I had quite a few little friends. There's nothing in life, it's no fun in life without one, that's for sure. But no boyfriends, not even in high school. Even though I might like them, I had to turn them off. There's no way I could, Dad or Mom or any of them would let me date any of them. But there was one particular little boy that I think a lot of, and even today I think a lot of him, his name was Lyle Phipps. I really liked him, and he was a worker too. And he used to go to the library and study at night. So I'd say, I'm going to the library and study, I'll be back home. So I'd talk to him all the time at the library to get his studying done. But I was probably 15, something like that. I wrote to him all the time. I was in nurses training. And when he came back home and worked at a filling station. And by that time, I was nursing. And he married someone there in town. And their first little baby died. She had appendicitis. Anyway, he's in one of the pictures that we're standing downtown outside of a filling station. That's him that was standing there. Okay, brothers and sisters, all right.